Okay, so it's officially another Texas Power Up. Now, we don't have a Texas Power Up next week because half of you guys are going to Built How. Like, literally, I think there's 52 people from this group that is going to be at Built How. So we will see you the week after Built How, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. And if you somehow missed, let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to share my screen really quick. If you missed, oh gosh, when are we going to be there? We're going to be there next Wednesday. Here is a calendar invite. It looks like this: Texas Team Dinner at Built How. It's at Chico Malo or however you say it. And if you have this in your calendar and you haven't had a chance to RSVP, this would be a good time to RSVP. Or if you're like, hey, I'm gonna be there and I don't have this, you are super invited. Just pop in your email address so that we make sure that you get this calendar invite as well, because it's got our restaurant, it's got all the information. And the fun thing is you're not paying for it. You get to come and eat and maybe drink, celebrate essentially, and kick off another amazing Built How. If you were there in the spring, we had a good time. We were very close and sardined, and this time we have an entire private room, so that'll be really cool. It's a cool vibe, so that'll be awesome. The other thing is we have 9 weeks left of this like sales cycle, if you will, right? Between now and December 4th, we've got 9 weeks to get people pended so that they can have enough time to get their loan done before the end of the year. So 9 weeks is not a lot of time, but it's not a short amount of time either. There's so much we can do. So excited about that. Other than that, there's really no new announcements. It's just we're gonna have a good time next week. If you aren't able to go next week to Built How, there are many events I haven't been able to go to over the years. And so just put it on your schedule for next spring. There's always a spring one and a fall one, spring and fall, and it's always amazing. So put that as your goal or whatever that looks like for you guys. But shout outs, anything that you guys want to shout out, any hands up. And if you are new here, welcome. We go to our reaction button and we just put our hand up for any shout outs, any gratitude. Casey, get us started.
All right, so I got a couple folks to shout out, and they are related. First, we got Fatima here in Austin, while dealing with a 72 unit development and doing the Bold 6,000. She just signed 2 residential listings that'll go live over the next 2 weeks. So she is at high capacity right now. And then Charlie, her office mate, while also doing the Bold 6,000, just got another residential listing, and that one should go live in the next couple of weeks as well. So also, when I congratulated Charlie, all she could talk about is how proud she was of Fatima and what she was doing. And so I just, am grateful for them. They're great examples of teamwork, right? And also that people who step up make things happen. So really love that.
I love that. Step up and make things happen. And you know what happens? Your bandwidth grows as you grow, right? Like none of us started and we're like, yeah, we can do a 72 unit development and take extra listings and do like 200 contacts a week. Like none of us started that way, right? But we can all do it, right? So that's really, really cool. Good shout out. I'm gonna have to have at least 3, so wake up that brain because we're gonna need to get ready for Melia. This is a whole exercise. Shout outs, gratitude.
I actually have a gratitude to share as well. So Colton Soche, this is his 3rd shout out in like 3 weeks. He went out and got a pumpkin for everybody in the Austin office. So just really grateful, like really feels like fall in here. So thanks, man.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love seeing Colton in the office every day. Super, super great, super great. And I'm gonna piggyback on Fatima's shout out. These listings, where did they come from, Casey? Do you know?
Yeah, it was from Sphere.
No, not the new ones. Open houses.
Oh, those listings. Yeah, the new ones came from open house. You're right.
Yeah, so we just basically primed this whole open house segment. No, I'm just kidding. Fatima just got it from open houses, which is so perfect. All right, I'm not gonna go on. Thank you, Tamala, and I'm gonna have one more after that. We've got to get in the spirit of gratitude. Tamala, yes, ma'am.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I just want to have gratitude for my team.
Woo.
Over the months, like there has just been times where I'm like, what am I going to do? How do I answer this question? I can jump in Slack. I can text anybody, even just open ears in the office. Anything I may need, they always come through, never let me down. So I'm grateful for that.
Are you in the office a lot, Tamala, or do you work from home? What does that look like for you?
A lot. I am working from home a lot.
Yeah.
So,
And-
yep. So being busy, and they have no problem with responding to a text, answering a call, just saying like, hey, you jump on a call real quick, especially Brandon's good for that. And then just all the listening ears in the office are like, oh, I've dealt with that. And it just feels really good.
I love that. I love that. Way to go. Way to go, all of Team San Antonio. All right. One more shout out. Yes, San Antonio Brandon. Oh, unmute yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm good. So yeah, the shout outs also just for the team for signing up to go to Built How. So we have all but one of our partners going. So we're excited for that. And I know what it's like to be a new agent and be kind of hesitant to go to these things. I skipped one or two when I was a new agent just because I thought I was too busy or I couldn't go or my business would die or all that stuff, right? But all of those events have been really good for me and my growth in the business, and I'm grateful for them that they took the time to put some money in and put some time in to go spend some time in a different city in a new environment. And I'm excited because they're going to get to meet a lot of people that we see on Zoom, but we haven't met in person yet. So for a lot of our teammates, this is their first event with Place, so it's going to be really cool.
I love that. I love that. Let's do it. It'll be great. We'll have a good time, and the nice thing about it is we'll have a good time this time. We'll have a good time next spring, next fall, right? And it is such a value add. All right, so this morning, those of you who love taking notes, this is going to be an awesome power up for you. I want to introduce you to my friend Melia. Melia, look how beautiful she is. First of all, like God, what a great look.
You're great. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. So Melia is what area of the United States, sir?
So I am in central Kentucky. We are about an hour and 15 minutes south of Cincinnati, and we're about an hour and 15 minutes east of Louisville, where Scott Pinella is. So the three, Louisville, Cincinnati, and Lexington, make a triangle.
Okay, I love that. And just kind of walk us backwards, like you got into real estate when, you grew up where, like give us kind of your 5-minute pitch life story.
Sure. Thank you. So I'm a Jersey girl, born and raised New Jersey. I've been in Kentucky for 23 years. Yeah. So my whole family is from Cambridge, Massachusetts, all the way down to Maryland. My brother lives in the DC area. He's a doctor. And my other brother still lives in New Jersey. I am a former CPA. I, went to Scranton with the office, went up to Connecticut, ended up in Orlando, Florida for 8 years, being a corporate controller for the largest printer in the world. I was the youngest controller in the nation, and I was female, and I was in the print industry. So there was a lot of grit and tenacity that got built in me. During that process, I started a gift company and opened that up across the nation, shipped all over the world, taught at different marts throughout the country, and seasoned agents. And then my family had a project out in Las Vegas that we were developing with partners. So partnerships have not been great for me until I met Place. And my family lost everything in 2008, literally everything. So we had a lot of tragedy in my family that happened after that. My mom and my sister passed away immediately after, and spent 5 years in Vegas trying to figure things out. And then afterwards, my brother finally said, you've been doing some direct sales to keep afloat. I opened up the nation with 2 different direct sales companies and left one day out of Raleigh, North Carolina, came home and walked into the real estate school and got my license 3 weeks later. So that was back in the end of 2014. I just started real estate in 2015 at the age of 47. It was my last stop. There was no backup plan. I didn't have family near me. I'm now in Kentucky. My husband's, a Kentucky boy. He's never lived anywhere else. We've been married 23 years. And I left Orlando 8 years later, 31 years ago to marry him. And that's how most people get to Kentucky. You're either live here, you go to school here, you marry here. So real estate has been a saving grace, and everything that we got put through and all those life challenges really made me who I am and made me really good in real estate. It's all about people. It's all about relationships, and everything that I did up till then, especially with the direct sales and my businesses, it was always based on service. So I welcome all those ugly pieces and all the tragedy and challenges of the years past to make this beautiful picture that led me to place.
Man, you know what when I'm hearing you say that, guys, like when I hear Melia speak, I think of so often how we assume that success is just this like nice little like skyrocket to the top. And it's beautiful. And not that your story isn't beautiful, it's very beautiful, but not in the way that we think beauty is, right? It didn't look like that. There are so many layers to Melia. There are so many layers to each and every one of you. And that is normal. You could be from Jersey, be a CPA, do direct sales, lose everything in 2008, have tragedy that just rocked you, and then come out of that and start a brand new career at 47 years old. Because I have like 30-year-olds who think like they're getting old. And I'm like, all right, y'all. Okay. Wow. I didn't know all this about you, so I'm excited. I'm excited.
You never know what's behind somebody's eyes. And, like we talked yesterday, 2 hard days with a client, you have to understand people. And I have learned through the years, because, I was very vocal. I've learned through the years that silence is my voice in many occasions, and it's very powerful to listen more than talk.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got excited or interested, maybe not excited, interested in open houses. I know you started your career in 2015, which, by the way, you guys, like, just forget the last 2 years. That was an abnormal once in a lifetime market. Like 2015 through 2019, that was that was a normal market.
It
so
was.
You started in a normal market like we are in now. Welcome. What made you excited about open houses? Like, take us down that road before you take us into your strategies.
So I was traveling, right? I was dealing with the family, the family legacy being torn apart, and got into direct sales mainly because it was the only source of where I could accommodate a schedule, right? A lot of people get into real estate to be their own boss. I did direct sales because I needed a schedule. But with that, opening up 3 different companies, two were nationwide, I felt like I had beat up my family, friends, and sphere, right? I didn't want to make those calls to let everybody know I was in real estate. And so I have no family in Kentucky at all, except for my husband's family, and they're about an hour and a half away. So I figured open houses. People are coming to an open house either to buy or sell, or just be curiosity. So there's probably a home ownership need. And if you were walking and talking, I wanted to speak with you. So I went around the office as the old new kid on the block and begged for open houses. I mean, I literally went around, there was like a ring of offices on the outside, and the conference room was the middle. And I would go to every office saying, can I do an open house? Can I do an open house? And, when we get to the level that we're at, we're like, yeah, you can do the open house. Absolutely. So I did that for about 6 months. And then I got onto a luxury builders account, and I would sit there from 12 to 5 on Saturday and Sundays. And if he didn't need me that day, right, because he had other, people that were the true team, I was the grunt person. I would do an open house for somebody else. So I did a minimum of 2 open houses a week for 2 years. And that's where I got my business. I mean, probably 80% of my business that year came from open houses, because I assumed all my friends and family were tired of hearing me ask them to do a show or buy something or entertain the opportunity. So I went to people that I knew wanted the opportunity of the house.
Which were people that were coming to see the product.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And how, when you say 80% of your business probably came from open houses during that time, like how many units did you say? Is that like
I
Five-
did 33 units my first year. I did $7.2 million.
Okay, so
And
that's
I didn't know any different, right? I honestly, I went into real estate because it was my last stop. It was service and it was about people. It was about relationships. And I sat in Ignite my first month and had no idea the average agent did 8 or 10. I just thought I worked full time. Like I should sell 4 or 5 a month, right?
I work full time. I should sell 4 to 5 a month. I like that mindset. So I love what you said, and I want to make sure because we've got 98 people, and I want to make sure everybody got it. And if you're just tuning in, or if you are, or if you've zoned out, this is a good time to zone back in. Sometimes, especially if you've had a bigger career before this, right? Maybe you start in real estate after you're 35, after you're 40, right?
Yep.
You have gone to your sphere a million times with different
Brilliant.
and you do feel like, oh my gosh, you know, if I have to tell them again to support me, it almost feels like you are beating them up. And my gosh, right? The open house lead gen lever, you went all in, and I'm talking consistently for 2 years, 2 open houses. And I'm not saying 2 open houses like from 12 to 2. This was 12 to 5, 20 hours of open houses. I just want you guys to get that part, like get stuck on the part that it was 20 hours a week. A weekend actually. Oh no, sorry, 10, 5 and 5, right? 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, 10 hours a weekend of open houses for 2 years. And that's how you close 33 in your first year.
Well, I didn't get on that luxury account probably till 6 months into my business.
Okay.
So, you know, that first 6 months, that's all I knew how to do. I didn't have any business, right? I went to friends and family. Like I would post that I got my real estate license. I'm happy to take care of you like I always have. You know, if you give me the opportunity, or I'll connect you, you know, to whatever you need for your home ownership needs. Like I've always just, what do you need? I'll find it. I've always been the go-to girl. So make yourself the go-to real estate agent. Like whatever you need about home ownership, that's what we do. And that's why we say, just ask Melia. They'll call me for anything now.
I love that. I love that. Just ask Melia. Very similar to what Chris said about ask Sarita, right? Right. So you became the go-to girl and you did open houses, and as a result, 33 units your first year. And it's not that everything was shiny and rainbowy and beautiful. It was hard work.
Well, and I didn't have the money to do the leads, right? I saw the big agents, they were spending thousands of dollars on Zillow leads. They were spending thousands of dollars on marketing. And I knew how to market. Like when I did my businesses, I always said it's relationship marketing. And, you know, 23 years ago, when I moved to Kentucky, nobody knew what that word meant. And I was like, relationship marketing is taking your budget and spreading it out. That's what I did with my gift company. Let's spread it out. So, you know, connect. What do you need? How do you need it? Understanding them. So I needed a way that I could generate business, but not spend all the money, because I had no money at that time. It was 5 months since I took a check. I was in direct sales. I'd gotten out of corporate America. I didn't have my 401k. I didn't have group benefits. I was living off my husband, which is the worst thing for a high D, right? Is to feel dependent again. So I had to make it work.
Well, I'm glad you did make it work, because here we are years later, and we get to talk about how hard that was, but how it also really put you in a place to where you can have this conversation now. Okay, so talk to us about open houses. Like, what's your mindset around it? Or like wherever you want to start, just have at it, and we're here to listen to you.
So there was no roadmap, right? I took whatever was in Ignite. There was no roadmap. I was told, go put signs out, and I didn't know how to put signs out. I was told to go door knock. They don't really tell you exactly how to door knock. They don't tell you exactly what to say and how to say it. We had these great scripts, but it's really implementing that stuff to make it a system. So I built a system around it. It's probably high D. It's very OCD, like step by step by step. And we have checklists both for the hosting agent now and for the admin staff. And it, you know, at one time I did all of this. So I'll share that with you.
I would love that. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Do you want me to do mine?
Yeah, go for it. We are so ready. Okay. We're going to title this Be Like Melia.
So, and I've shared all this with you, Adelina. You're more than welcome to share it with everybody else. So, what's the purpose of an open house? So this is what I'll cover, and I'll try to go as fast as I can. You tell me how much time I have. But the purpose and goals of open houses, kind of the team standards. Now that I do have a team that's growing, and it's small, but we're going to be big like you one day. You're my idol. You have to set the expectations and the standards. And then how do you really strategize to execute that open house? Because I'll tell you what, the last 2 years, guys, we would do one, if you scheduled an open house with a new listing on Friday, it was gone by Sunday. So then we got smart about strategizing. Wait, why don't we use the open houses to get more people in, to get more multiple offers? So we would do a coming soon and then list the house on Friday and start the listing from 12 to 5 with an open house. And we'd have 2 agents there, and we'd call agents saying, come on over. We're going to keep the house open, send your clients, stay home, write the offer, right? You don't need to, we'll take care of them. We respect the agency. And when the buyers came through, we would ask them who their agent was, right? And we learned that, so how many houses have you seen so far? Oh, 5. Great. What agent's showing you them? Because if you say, do you have an agent? They're going to say no, right? Buyers are liars, sellers are liars, right? And in the best of ways, but this market's been so crazy. They don't care if you haven't built that relationship with them. Whoever's going to get them the winning offer is the guy they want to deal with. So we had to go through the back door to figure out who the front door was, so we didn't burn the bridges in our town, which is small, right? You always want to play in the sandbox without throwing sand. And then we talked about who is responsible for doing what. And there's been a time that I was doing it all, then I got a staff and let them do it all. And then I was like, wait a second, I have new agents. They can do this, right? So that the staff can really promote the marketing of it. And so we'll talk about marketing and follow-up. So why do you want to do an open house? I mean, really, we do open houses right for us, right? We say it's for the seller, but in reality, it's a great way to market our business, market our brand, market the listing, market the brand, and find a buyer for the client. That's really the purpose of the open house, right? When someone does an open house for you, you have to stress to them, like, your number one purpose is to be part of my team for the day to help us sell this, help our clients sell this home. And we'll do whatever we can to back that up. So then what's the goal? Well, the goal is to find a buyer for the house, right? That's the number one goal. And then the other goal is to pick up a buyer and seller for everybody else that walks in the house, right? Because that's going to grow your business. There's a benefit of that. We don't keep our leads, when somebody else outside of our team does them. I know agents that do. I remember being a young agent where I wasn't allowed, for some agents, right? Because they were big and powerful and they had been in the business 30 years and old school. Like, I wasn't allowed to use my own marketing material. I had to use their signs with their name on it. I had to use their marketing materials with their name on it. The only thing that I could hand out was my business card, and I better not leave a business card behind in that house. Like, it was fierce. So we do things a lot differently. We want to promote people to grow their business, because I grew my business through this. I want other agents to grow. And if I do a good job, maybe they'll come back to me and want to be a part of our team. Then we want to gain the market share. And how do you do that? It's by out marketing the other agents, because other agents, I think, are lazy, right? We have very high expectations. We have high standards. And if we do a really good job of marketing that open house, that's free way to market, to call people. It gives us a reason. So market your brand against every other agent in town and make them think that there's no other agent there. And then what does that do? It just creates momentum for your business, where you wake up like, wow, I actually have something to do today. It gives you purpose. It keeps you on your schedule. So team standards, everyone has different team standards of an agent. Our team standards are, we'd like to see our agents do 2 open houses per week. And that's been it. But honestly, the last 2 years, it's been really hard here in Lexington to do that because they go so quickly. Our average price point here for all of Kentucky is like $248. For the Lexington, Central Kentucky area, it's about $280. Our team is about $228 to $245. So 2 open houses, that's where we're going back. Then we say you have to door knock and circle prospect. We haven't had to do that either, right? So circle prospecting, Mojo Days or whatever. Now we actually can go out and door knock our listings. We can actually circle prospect neighborhoods and have a purpose for doing that. Using the Brivity open house, That's a standard. We don't use paper anymore. We bring paper, God forbid the Wi-Fi goes down, God forbid your cell phone dies, you can't connect, whatever it is, you have a paper copy so that you can actually collect a name in an email. But Brivity makes it so easy for us, and it sets it up on listing alerts automatically. So it takes some of those steps out so that we can really focus on the conversation. And then we script practice, right? And some people think script practicing is awful, right? Unnatural, uncomfortable. And gosh, it is when you don't know how to do it. So if you don't want to use the word script, say, let's just practice our conversations that we're going to have, right? That feels better for new agents. I'm happy to say, let's just practice your conversations, because you don't want to practice on the buyers. And then be prepared. And I'm going to tell you how to get prepared, and then schedule your time for your follow-up. So the open houses, right? That's what we teach, that left side of the circle when you get into real estate, when you come into a team, is you're going to prospect, you're going to work your sphere, and you're going to do open houses. And that's how we're going to start to build your business. I have built an immense database. We have over 17,000, almost 18,000 people in our database. And it's messy because I didn't have a system like Brivity when I started. I had a system called Excel. And I literally used little file cards, and I had a file folder, and it said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because that's how I did in direct sales. Was I had file cards, and I would put, if they didn't answer, I'd put them in the Tuesday slot, and then I'd move it to the Wednesday slot. So old school, I felt like my grandma, but it worked. And whatever system worked, that's how it made me successful. And now I've got great systems that I can pass on to people. So what's your open house strategy, right? You got to have one. You can't just wing it, right? We've wung it and it doesn't work, right? We've wung it when like open houses have come back and nobody showed up. So was it our fault? Was it the market? Was it the weather? Was it really nobody wants that price point? If we're really honest, guys, if you work your open house systematically, people will show up. And I know it. I think Brennan on our team is here. He's a brand new agent in our team. The week before, 2 weeks before, we did an open house on a $740,000 house. Nobody came. And we had an agent literally say in our team meeting, I never will work that house again. It's not worth it. Really? You actually said that in a team meeting? Okay. Well, there was over 8 people that came last weekend because we worked the open house. We didn't just show up. So if you do, someone will come, right? People actually came early and they came the day before because we didn't put Sunday 2 to 4, we put it online. What neighborhood do you want to target? So if it's an open house, are you just going to target that neighborhood? Can you expand a mile out? Are you going to walk? Are you going to do door knocking of 50 people? Are you going to circle prospect that neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods? Are you going to look at like some of the statistics from your industry where it shows that's the top zip code? So you may have to go over there to bring them to your zip code. And the traffic patterns, when does the traffic get heavy around there? So you know when to get those open house signs. Does it have to be Thursday night, or can you wait till Friday to put signs out? And I know there's different areas throughout the country where you can't put an open house sign. Our standards here in Lexington is you can put them out Thursday night, but they need to be gone by Sunday night or they're going to take them. Some HOAs, if you put them out before Friday, they're going to take them, right? If you don't take them by Sunday, they're going to take them, right? And signs are what? $12, $25, depending on when you get the special. And then when do you want to do your open house? You don't have to do it on Saturday or Sunday, right? We found that doing a happy hour on a Thursday night's a great time to do it. We found sometimes when it's a new listing, do it at lunch, 11 to 2, right? People want to buy. And, they're in this mindset that everything's going so quickly. And although the market's resetting a little bit, if you're in that sweet price point, they will come. And then how are you going to do your marketing? We'll talk about that. What lead generation models are you going to use? Are you going to circle prospect, door knock? Are you going to call your sphere? Are you going to call every buyer? Are you going to reverse prospect and get to the agents to say, hey, who has sold in that neighborhood over the last year, right? We go back and we look at all the sales for the last year to see what agents typically do that, because don't we all farm a neighborhood, right? Who's the person farming that neighborhood before you? One, learn their techniques and do better, right? And two, call them up saying, I got a great listing. I know you do a lot of activity here. I'd love you to be like to stop in. I'd love to tell you about the listing. You probably have buyers. And then what do you want to get out of it? Am I going too fast?
I think the pace is awesome.
Okay. Okay. So how do you prepare? What's your responsibility? I say hosting agent. So I'm very heavily listing right now. I love my buyers and I'm trying to like get out of that world, and it's tough, but that's a great model to follow. So I'm the listing agent. I'm not necessarily the hosting agent. The hosting agent's the person that's actually going to sit at the open house. So what is my responsibility as the listing agent and my admin and staff's responsibility? And then what kind of marketing are we going to do? Right? Door knocking, circle prospecting, these Facebook ads through Brivity. If you're not using Brivity Marketer, oh my goodness. We ran 2 open house Facebook ads 2 weeks ago. And we ran 2 more in 2 different houses this past week. And we have 269 Facebook leads. And I would say that maybe I have $400 or $500 invested in Facebook ads. If we convert 1, it was worth it. If we convert 5, right, it would be worth it. If we convert 10, which would be what, 5%, God, that would be really great, wouldn't it? So I don't know what my numbers are for that because I never had that before. I didn't do Facebook ads. So my GPS is in full swing right now. I can't wait to tell Chris. And then social media posts. Right? Again, Brivity Marketer has been a huge thing. We've been using Canva and we're switching everything over, and it does it all for you with videos and live in Instagram stories and Facebook stories. It's just phenomenal. What kind of signage, right? Are you going to stick out a rider? Are you going to put signs in the yard? Are you going to put them on the corners of everything? We put out 10 signs for every open house. We had 5 open houses last weekend. We had 50 signs out in our community. So when people say, oh, you are everywhere, I'm like, I'm not. But you know what? Perception's reality, and we're going to take that reality. And then the communication, not only with your team, with the buyers, but with your seller, right? They're nervous. They want to sell their house. And now they're really scared right now, guys. So talk to them every day. Even if you don't have anything to say, hey, I just wanted to check in. We've done this today for you. And tomorrow we're going to start working on this, and we're working on this open house. And we're going to do whatever it takes to get traffic to your house and make everybody aware. Even if they don't come, they're going to know your house is on the market and that, we're going to make a good deal with them. And then following up. Okay. So I have a hosting checklist and I have a team checklist. Maybe I'll just skip to that. And we'll share this, but this is a accumulation of almost 8 years of time. But it keeps people accountable. 2, it gives you a roadmap, not to feel like I don't know what to do and how to do this well. And not everything in this may apply to where you guys are down in Dallas and the Austin area. So tweak it, right? Make it yours. But we put in there and we give the hosting agent this and we go through it. Okay, what's the first thing you do and what you're going to do? They get a copy of this. And the first thing they need to do is contact the lead agent about the property, right? If you're doing an open house, call the listing agent. They want to be your partner in learning how to do this. And if you're the listing agent, you know about it, but call them. That should be the first thing. There's so many things that are not on the MLS about the property. Get the feedback from the agent. What are the things that, are finding that people don't like? What are the things that people do like? What's the best thing about the property, right? They'll teach you, they'll share it with you so that you can be a good partner for them. We're doing them on the open. I'm going to go through this like we're doing an open house on Sunday. So we confirm with the admin of the team what day of the week we're going to do it, right? Mondays, we're starting to say on Sunday, we're going to do this open house, this open house, this open house. Start at the beginning of the week and then confirm, like if it's 2 to 4, are you going to do it 1 to 4 so that from 1 to 2, when you door knocked or circle prospect the neighborhood, you're able to say to the neighbor, hi, this is Melia over at the Melia Realty Group. I just wanted to let you know that your neighbor has hired me and my team to sell their home and help find you a good neighbor. I wanted to let you know that I'm going to drop off some material about the house. I'm not sure if you've ever been in it, but 2 things. From 1 to 2, from 2 to 4, we're doing an open house to the public, but from 1 to 2, we're going to do a private open house for just the neighbors. And I would love you to stop by so that you can be the nosy neighbor and see the house, without your neighbor there, and look at it and give me your honest feedback about the home compared to the other homes that you've seen in the neighborhood of your friends. And 2, I'd love to hear why you love this neighborhood. What are some of the great things that maybe your neighbor hasn't told us yet, and so that we can find you the right neighbor. And 2, I wanted to let you know that we are having an open house and we do our marketing better than anybody we know. And we're working to have a ton of traffic that day. And we take safety really seriously. And we know there's a lot of families. We know there's young children. And we know that people don't like having strange cars in their neighborhood. So we wanted to let you know from 2 to 4, there's going to be strange cars in your neighborhood. Right? And we door knock that. But that extra hour, go there, spit it. You don't know who the next person's going to be. That we find great contacts with the neighbors, people that don't even live in the neighborhood. It gives us an opportunity to find out if there's anybody that's going to be moving, having a baby, the 5 Ds, right? Death, diamonds, marriage, diapers, right? All of that, divorce, and what was the other one? Graduation, I forget what, right? Diploma. So there's always something going on there, right? The 5 Ds are perfect. So then schedule a showing time appointment, right? We do that for 2 reasons. 1, to remind the seller, right? Because the staff is called to already get permission. But 2, because a lot of times there's a security code to get into the house, isn't there? And I cannot tell you how many times I've had an agent that's not on my team call me at 2:05 to say they can't get in the house, or 5 to 2 that they can't get in the house. And if you don't answer the phone, how are they going to get in the house? Right? So that gives you all of the security access to get into the property if there is. And then 2, it alerts the owner. And then 3, it's to remind you that you have to give feedback to us when you leave. Then we prepare a door knocking letter. We'll get a copy of that to you. And it's a letter that kind of said the script that I just said. And then on the back side, we give a flyer of the neighborhood. If we actually go and we door knock and we give it to them, say, hey, and by the way, do you want to be added to the list of getting a free market report on your home? A lot of your neighbors have asked for that while I've been going around the neighborhood. I'm happy to do that for you with no obligation. Perfect. What's the email I can send it to? Because that's the fastest way to get it to you. And then we do a map. We print out a map. It's usually off of your MLS, and we target where we're going to put the signs, right? Because if just by chance the hosting agent can't do it, then someone from the staff has to do it. Sometimes we use the staff to make sure the signs are out, and they have to go see where they are, and also to know where to pick up the signs at the end of the day, because sometimes there's a switchover, right? Maybe there's 2 agents at a big luxury listing and one has to leave early. They don't know where the signs were. Then we run a CMA, right? So you know who's on the market, who's pending, who's sold. You have to know that. You have to be the expert when they walk in the door, and be sure to bring that CMA with you. But if you haven't seen the houses that are active or pending on the market, you better go take a little time that week to actually do a tour. Grab a new agent, grab a buddy, but go see it, because they're going to ask about the market and you need to dig. So we run it by radius, we run it by neighborhood, sometimes we run it by street, and we check all that. Then we ask the admin or the VA to do the social media posts, right? We want the social media post done our way. I'm still really anal about that. We want our branding right. We're really particular about our branding. We have a great brand. We've got a great reputation. We allow other agents not in our team to ride our shirt tails as long as they do a good job. So we'll prepare that for them. If it's someone outside of the team, then we won't put their face on it. We'll put just our team logo on it. And we'll forward it to them so that they can tag us with that. And then view the property. So 4 days before, we make sure you call the listing agent, right? We want to make sure we've got a reminder with the staff. we check out of the office, we use our open house writers to stick with our brand. We have those beautiful new place signs that we got 2 weeks ago, and our open house signs match it. So we want that to be out there because we want our name being marketed. They can keep all the leads, but it's our marketing around town. And then we have to have the signs out by Friday afternoon. We want people to have them before Friday's traffic, right? Because that's when everybody's coming home. A lot of times people will put them out on Saturday. Well, guess what? Sometimes people never leave their house till Monday morning. So we want to let them know that it's out there. And then we do the directionals, right? We ask our agents to do a selfie in front of the house when they put up the rider and they put out the open house signs, so that one, we know they did it, and two, that we can promote them that way. Maybe do a live video. Hey guys, it's Melia over at the Melia Realty Group. We have an amazing open house that's coming up on Sunday from 2 to 4, and we hope you'll come join us. This house is absolutely beautiful. We are so excited to be able to be here. We hope you can come and see it, check it out. We'll have lots of marketing material for you. We'll tell you a little bit about what's going on in the market, and wait until you see that kitchen. It is to die for. Give them a little tease of why they want to come and show up, right? Script practice. We have that every day. Script practice to remind you every day you need to practice that so it rolls off your lips. And then the marketing. Contact all the hots and watch buyers in your Brivity. Tell them, even if it's not that area, tell them what a great way to communicate with them. Send a text, make a phone call, do an email blast, right? This is a great way for those of you that are phone phobia to say, hey, it's Melia over at the Melia Realty Group. We are having an open house. And I know it's not exactly the area of town that you wanted, but I think it has a couple of the qualities that you're looking for. And I think if you have nothing to do, it would be a really good experience for you to come and see this and just open up your mind and give you some perspective on the market. All of our Facebook ads, right? Then we ensure that the team actually does the Facebook ad. And we've just started this. So I'm not going to claim that I've been doing this the whole time, but we have really embraced just doing 2, because I don't know where that sweet spot is, but so far we're getting some really good activity. We have done a full week and we've done a 3-day ad. If you do a 3-day Facebook ad through Brivity Marketer, so you're going to go into Brivity, you're going to go into the listing, and you're going to hit Facebook ad, right? And you can do 3 days. That's a whole different course to do that, but you got to change the title. You've got to change the description because you only have a set number of things, and make sure you add a tag to it and a trigger so that when someone clicks it, it sends a trigger in your Brivity system to start a listing alert and to start the auto plan. We didn't do that on the first 2, and that was just time wasted. So, but those Facebook ads, if you do a 3-day one, you've got to start it by Wednesday, because it takes a good 24 hours or so for it actually to process. So the first time we did a 3-day ad, we started it on Thursday night thinking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was an afterthought, and that's what happens. But what happened was it really started on Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. So we got a lot of activity after we actually went under contract during the time. So we used a different follow-up of, I'm so sorry, that was such a hot property. Everybody was looking at it. It went really quickly. Is that the area you're looking for? Is that the price point you're looking for? Is that the style home you're looking for? Can I open up to another area and show you some other opportunities that we have to show you, and do it that way? Come by our open house letter. That's the door knocking one. And then come by our open house. We send it out to all of the buyers, and we do a blast through Constant Contact. We've actually changed that, and we started doing a featured listing open house 1-page email through Constant Contact. So that they can click links in there, and it blasts it out. And for all of the listings that we don't have, we include them at the bottom. And that's been effective because we had all of our sellers call and say, we didn't schedule an open house. Does that mean we have an open house this week? No, we just wanted to make sure we were marketing you at every opportunity. 2 days before, print out all your marketing materials. We have a marketing book and materials in every single house, but we want to help market the agent, because we want to be a good agent in the sandbox. So when you're doing that, we let you print out your own MLS sheets with your name at the bottom. But we also want to make sure that the seller's disclosures, lead paint disclosures, that if they need to be replenished, the hosting agent's going to help save the staff a trip to bringing that to the house. We want to make sure you have a CMA report. Do you know how many agents actually don't print that out and bring it to an open house? It's mind-boggling. Like, that's such good information, because if that house doesn't work, you can suggest another house. And a lot of times we're saying, listen, if you can wait till 4 o'clock, I'll make an appointment and show it to you at 5 down the road, right? Make sure you have a list of the open houses in the area, right? So they know, hey, listen, go to that open house and let them know that you've already met me and I'm taking care of you, and that we're meeting up at 5 o'clock to reconvene, right? And partner up with one of your affiliate partners, right? A lot of the lenders will do flyers for you and do like the mortgage calculator, and buyers love that, especially with these rates increasing. You want to make sure that they can see the different rates, and they'll do it and they'll co-brand it with you, right? Call a home inspector and get a gift card, right? Do a little raffle, call a roofer, all of those. They're always willing to get their name out there with you. And again, script practice. Reshare all the open house posts that we have. We always try to tag the hosting agent to their personal page, and they can tag it to their professional page. All of our team members have their own business page, and ask them to tie it back to the main team page. Any questions? Keep going. Day of, we always do balloons. It's been a fun conversation. Some believe balloons don't work, some do, but in this time, I think that little swag, we do red balloons, just one balloon on the open house sign. We want them out there Sunday before noon, right? Or 2 hours before, so that when people are going, and they got to be there first thing in the morning, because man, we are the beltway of churches, if you didn't know that. So there is a church in every other block, and they're like complexes. They're massive. And I think Dallas has massive ones too. We have them up here, and people go to church, and there's thousands of people. We want them to see it on their way to church and their way out of church. If it's at nighttime, we want them to get it on the way home. People are curious. If they got nothing to do, they usually stop in, right? You got to be there 30 minutes before. Sellers are anxious. They're running out of the house. They're stressed. Maybe they didn't turn on all the lights. Maybe they left their dirty underwear on the bathroom floor. Maybe they didn't fold the towels right. There may be hair on the bathroom floor, right? From, blow drying their hair. There may be leaves on the front porch. There may be trash in the yard. You know what, guys? This is the representation of your brand. How do you want that? You may have to sweep the cobwebs off of the front porch. Whatever it takes to make the seller be in the best light, right? Whatever it takes to hold the integrity of your brand. If you're showing a messy house, you're showing a messy house on your brand, right? They might not have had time to make the bed crisp. Give them some dignity, right? Turn all the lights on, make sure the temperature is good, open up the blinds. If the blinds are dirty and nasty, pull them up. Have a sign in, get your open house ready on Brivity, and do a short live video, right? When COVID hit, we were doing live open houses on Zoom. Why can't you do that now? Bring 2 laptops, bring a laptop and bring a tablet, and let people see what you're doing, or go around and doing Instagram stories. At the end of the thing, turn off all the lights. And the first thing, we always collect your stuff. We always tell people the only one that should be talking to the seller about the open house is the listing agent. So if the seller comes home before, say it was a great open house, there's 10 people, the listing agent already knows she's about to call you. Jump in that car, and you better be calling that listing agent to tell them what happened. Tell them everything you possibly can on your drive home while you're picking up the signs out of the yard, right? Because the listing agent did everything to make you have a successful open house on the back end. The only thing they really need is at 4:05, our sellers are calling us wanting to know what happened. So give and take. And then we have an open house, quick report. What were the things that people loved? What were the things that people didn't love? And, how can we improve it? Was there anybody that was interested in the property? Is there anybody that's going to make an offer, and go from there? So auto plan goes there. we're going to provide this list of all the things to bring that day so that you don't forget. Bring a buyer's packet, bring a selling packet, bring a career guide. You never know who's going to be there. There may be one person and you end up recruiting somebody. It may be one person that you're going to end up listing their house. So we provide all that for you. Circle prospecting. We have a whole list here of the scripts that we're using. So we'll provide that, the circle prospecting, the door knocking, greeting them at the door. We find one of two people come to our open houses, somebody that's getting ready to buy a home and someone that's getting ready to list a home. Which one are you? Perfect. Awesome. Right? Tell them a few things. And then the sign in, we've learned people don't want to sign in, right? They don't want to sign a piece of paper. So we just say, we have two scripts. Listen, when you're done touring, please make sure to stop in the kitchen. There's plenty of information that you can take with you when you leave about the house. And we only have one request from the seller today, and that's to make sure that everybody that's entered their home signs in. They would like a list when we end this open house of everyone that's here. So can you please make sure that I do what I told them I was going to do? Right? People are more than willing to do something if the seller's respecting it. Then, hey, will you sign in for me? Do you have an agent? Did you sign a buyer's agreement? No, that's not the conversation. It's how can I help you? What do you need? What are you interested in? So we'll send all those out to you. And then here's fear. Best place to start, right? Why don't you reach out because I'm going to be in the neighborhood. I'm selling another home. Love you to come. Hey, I haven't talked to you. I'll be sitting there. Come join me. Hey, I always knew you wanted to check out that neighborhood. I have a listing there. We're going to be doing an open house. This is a perfect time to be able to see it. So we'll pass those on. Circle prospecting, all those scripts, right? Calling on Mojo. Great, we're holding an open house and I promised your neighbor that I would reach out and invite you to stop by and take a look. Because we know you already love living there. Who do you know that might want to love living here too? Do you know anyone that I should personally invite? And then your prep work. So lead generate, market, understand the property, understand the neighborhood, right? Every neighborhood has a different price point or a different vibe. Understand it. Understand the market. Call the listing agent. Ask them for it. You don't have to think of all of those answers. The listing agent already knows it. Sure, they already did their homework to get the listing. Call them up. They're happy to share that with you. Run the open house report, run your CMA, tour the property before you get there on an open house, and make sure those signs are out. What needs to be in your bag, kind of went through that one. And then your scripts. So I just showed you all those. And then we have an open house checklist for your staff. And we did it by day, how to prepare, like what to do on Monday morning, prepare the open house report for the client, confirm the dates with your agent, call the seller to make sure the seller's okay that you're doing an open house, assign it to somebody, make sure that assign it to someone in the team or call a hosting agent that's on your list to do it, send out, something to your office, and then send them that policy and procedure checklist. Those are our expectations and our standards, right? And then we put it on our meeting agenda. We have a little Google Drive of all the open houses, and we, keep everybody accountable of what time they're going to do it. Tuesday, this is a great way. If you're your staff, if it's me, myself, and I, you've got 3 people to do all this. Create your open house in the MLS. We change our marketing remarks so that the first thing it says is open house, Sunday 2 to 4. Monday morning, you got to take that down. Because on Tuesday, if it says Sunday, they're thinking it's next Sunday, or you have last Sunday's date. Get with a partner, have those mortgages, those co-branding marketing materials made up. We don't put stuff on Craigslist anymore because we're doing life stories, and there's been a lot of issues with Craigslist for us about making it a rental when it's actually for sale. So we've kind of shied away from that. But back in the day when I first started, that's what we did. We reverse prospect. We call agents. Agents have the buyers a lot of times, right? It makes it really good when we call an agent, hey, we've got a listing. I think it would be perfect for your client. You know, what can I tell you about it? Bring me an offer, right? Because when you present an offer to that agent that you try to help, guess what? I think you have a little bit of an edge over somebody else that never does that for them, right? Relationships matter even with your agents in your town. And then we talk about how we're going to market it, what kind of leads. We don't do a lot of like the newspaper print. Every once in a while, like a big listing, we'll put something in the paper because it's worthy of it. We'll do like wealth management things. We do this Facebook videos to do that. I want to make sure okay. And then we send a notification to our office through showing time, right? So I think everybody else has that ability through showing time. You can go into your listing activity report and send a notification to everybody in LBAR Art Association. They don't take kindly to that, so we do it to our office. And then we do a notification of an email blast to everybody in our database about the open houses. And then we put the open house on the rider. We do our social media posts. So we do it by day for you so that you have a schedule. When you follow a schedule, amazing things happen. And then Thursday, market the open house. We do reminders to the host agent to make sure they're on track with their checklist. It's a great reminder for us that we're doing our end of things. We prepare like a little packet for them. We do a little much, right? Because sometimes we're not sure if like a new hosting agent's actually doing everything we ask them to do. So you have to inspect what you expect. And then we market the open house on Friday. Directionals are up. We'll do a drive-by just to make sure we see them. Social media posts are automated for Saturday. And then Sunday, it's an open house, game day. Let's go. Day after the event, thank you notes. So on that checklist, it's all in the brevity, right? But if somebody's not there, we tell the hosting agent that's not in our team, you need to send a note to them. You need to call them the next day. You need to email them the next day, send them a handwritten note the next day. And we check back on Wednesday. Is there anything we can do to help you, you know, with some of your buyer's leads? We don't want them back. We want to help them. Okay. Is that good?
Yeah.
Make sure you turn off all the lights, drive away, send the feedback, pick up your signs. And of course, why is follow-up important, right? The diamonds in the rough are always in the follow-up, guys. Their no, it just means not now. It doesn't mean no. The only time no means no is I have an agent, I've already bought something, or please don't ever call me again. Those are the only reasons you will never contact somebody again until maybe a year later.
I love that.
Right? And then scale it, right? Accountability. You got to be accountable to yourself. You have to track what you're doing. And I'm going to be honest, my first couple of years, I didn't track anything. I just did it. But, you know, operators and high Ds and high performers, we get the job done, right? We just get it done. But as we grow and we bring people into our world, everybody's a different personality, and not everybody can do it the way we do it. We have to be duplicable. And that has been the biggest intentional focus for me over the last 2.5 years. And I'm still trying to master it. I'm still a work in progress. I'll always be a work in progress, right? Because when you stop learning, you stop earning.
I love that. You know, as you're going through this, Melia, and thank you for that. Everybody grab her information, put it in your phone. I would just put her cell phone number in my phone, and I would say Melia Hord, Kentucky. And if she doesn't serve that area, then she will like connect you with whoever serves that area 100%. As you were talking, and the way I would wrap this up is, I can see the difference between just showing up and like 5-star service, right? Like this reminded me, like oftentimes, and I've been this agent who did an open house and I just showed up, right? I bet all of you have done that, right? That is like the equivalent of like McDonald's, like going to McDonald's. Like you just showed up in the drive-through, you got your food.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have a McDonald's career, guys. And you gotta decide, do I want to be known as the McDonald's agent? Because you're gonna be the McDonald's agent if that's how you run a business, is you just show up. right? Melia isn't doing a drive-through here. Melia is a 5-star restaurant. She wants to earn that kind of money, so she actually does 5-star service, right? And there's a difference. I could see the difference, right? And so you just got to decide, do I want a 5-star career, or do I want like a McDonald's drive-through career?
And there's going to be times where there's not going to be a lot of activity. So bring your laptop, do your Brivity Go, make calls, use that time to write notes. How often do we just get to have dead time in the middle of the day, right? So I always tell people, like, if you had a listening appointment and it canceled, I still have that blocked out that I'm supposed to be working. So I just got to go out and find something different. No one shows up to your open house. It wasn't a dead day. Use that day, use that for the quiet time to make calls.
I love that. I love that. Man, you're awesome. All of this, guys, I already have it in my inbox because Melia was so awesome. She sent it to me before our power up. So I'm going to send this over to all of your team leads, and they'll distribute it to all of the agents. And it is just, the message here is, if you're doing 80% of it, awesome. Where's the 20% gap where you could be more awesome? If you're doing 10%, wow, this is great. Start implementing a few of these. You can't do it all at once. Melia didn't do it all at once, but man, you can wake up, 6 months from now, and you could be that 5-star agent. Even if you start off as 1-star McDonald's today, like, you can work your way up to that 5-star. It's important to know that there is a difference between just showing up and then treating it like a business.
That's right.
Love it, Melia. You are beautiful. You are awesome. Everyone, we will see you next week. Melia will be there, right, Melia?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to send that letter. I'll include that in that folder. I think we
Beautiful.
didn't put that in there. I don't know why. So that I'm looking at it like, ooh, we'll
Awesome.
get that little door knocking letter for you.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me.
Yes, have a good rest of your week. We'll see you at Built How for those of you going, and everyone else, we'll see you the week after. Bye, guys.